I'm going to read you something that I wrote to someone that I didn't send because, little known fact, these mentalists got their mitts all over me for sending letters to somebody during COVID. Why'd you carry on keeping in touch with a ghoster? Why does anybody do that? Why would you do that? Are you stupid? If someone ghosts you, you don't do that. But extenuating circumstances, if that person says they have extreme anxiety, if that person says they've been the victim of this crime so many times, if this person, in your stupidity, has taken the registration of a controlled collision on the road when dropping off in her part of town, if this person slams the door in your face and you need that information, if this person has ascertained your bank details and seems to be crying for help and keeps spending on them after you asked her not to, so lots of extenuating circumstances, you get the idea. And if there's no sexual harassment and if there's no threat, she must have felt like she'd done something wrong, right? Because that's why you'd call the police. Maybe I did fuck with her a bit and slamming the door, guilt complex. Just call the police. Didn't need to. She could have employed an email. Because at the time, I needed a friend. It's very rare that I say that. I really needed somebody because I felt these weird energetics operating on me. Because I was trying to get into that arena, that strange industry, fucking strange is. And I was trying to get into that, and I'd done a lot of background work on Pokemon sets and big sets and stuff. Just background, in the background. Don't get envious of the just standing around on sets getting fed all day. It's nice, but you're surrounded by billions of pounds and people, and you're looking at people. And your brain's getting overloaded with a lot of information in these places, and you're sitting on sets with supporting artists they call background, and you go, they're not very supportive. God, you should hear the way they're slating him, like in Eurovision, Lars. And strangely enough, I just decided to call myself Lars. In my infinite wisdom, Laura Ann Rickner, Lars. And then go on set, and there's a dressing room that says Lars, and I was like, is that for me? For shit, real? I was arriving, and it was like, no, Lars is one of the characters in the film. No, you're shitting me. That's me in it. It was like one of them days. And you go, surrounded by all this stuff, and it gets a bit weird. Because I think money takes an interest in you, and they want to know what you're about. They want to investigate. They want an excuse to get the mitts on you. Now, this person, I think, might have been linked to industry in hindsight. Because I saw the name, I think it's an industry name. And there's a thing on Netflix, and the restaurant's actually called her surname. So you go, oh, it's an industry name, right? That's not even a real name. It's like, if a person's called Ferrari, their surname's Ferrari, it's not a real name, is it? It's like, it's an invention name. So it's the same sort of principle. Like, why am I saying that? Oh yeah, the middle name. It's a double barrel one anyway. But I saw it on this programme, and I was like, industry plant? Was that Psychology 101? Seeing if you're a decent enough person to actually stay in touch. And if you do, then just get their mitts all over you and arrest you for quite literally nothing. Because the letters were coming at such a rare, sporadic time. It'd be like I'd find a CD and it would remind me of her. And so I'd be like, are you okay? I hope you're doing all right. So to spend 60 hours in the cell and be arrested coming back from Venice for it, and to be arrested on a Bournemouth beachfront for it, and people say, like, I was drunk, yeah, for coming back from Venice, but I had a whole row of seats to myself, so what? And Ryanair really disappointed because they ended up charging me an extra £100, which is a bit bullshit because I told them on the way out that the app wasn't working, so I couldn't do the early booking, but I was the first in the queue, and then they charged me another £50, so I helped myself to a beer behind the counter. I mean, you could arrest a person for that and then pretend it's about that. But no, they wanted me for that because my mum told me that they were at the door before me going to Venice. And I was like, I'm not going to the police station. I know what that's about. That's about me not reporting that controlled collision. Fuck that. So I had a bit of an attitude about it because this person, unwittingly, is getting me in all this trouble. And I'm getting court threats from, I think, pretend courts. I think sometimes people neglect to see that there's an industry in an industry in an industry, and sometimes courts saying go to this county court. It's like, no, that was like, there was no damage done to my vehicle. Like, it was a controlled collision. I literally just mirror signal manoeuvred because police were coming through, and this banged up Toyota touched me, And it had multiple claims waiting on it, he said. And there's no damage in it. I was like, did I do it? She took the picture. That wasn't very clever, but you know what it's like when you police are there and you get all spooked. Anyway, Bart Simpson then was on The Simpsons shortly after going, I want to get myself a used Toyota. And I just thought that was something a bit trippy about that. Trippy as fuck. And so, point is, after going through all that trauma, I met somebody that I really like. I mean, blows that one out of the water. Like, oh my God. But I'm also fearful that it was another industry plant. But it's like, probably, she goes, aim high. Because people are aware that you're trying to aim into that arena. But it couldn't get any higher than her. Because I asked for her. I said, universe, give me her. It was just her. That's exactly what I want. I don't want nothing more than that. I couldn't ask for anything more than that. I've done looking now. But anyway, one jank-ass long letter said the ball's in your court now. But she also ghosted me. Added me on all these multiple sites and then just ghosted you. Psychological ploys. And you can feel all these weird energetics operating. You go, people are actually monsters, aren't they? If there's circles involved in this stuff. If there's people and esoteric society involved in this sort of like just torture racking a person. You go, what a sad bastard. Or is it just see how far we can push this person? Oh, is it aversion therapy? Newsflash. It's just going to make you dislike people and become grumpier. It's not going to do anything to go, oh, I'm going to spread my legs and I need a little baby to look after of my own. A genetic spawn into this hell on earth that they've created. You know, it just got progressively worse. Like, oh, if you're still in the shoes where you can't afford to buy your parents' house, even though you've gone through all this evil, even though you've seen these multi-billion-dollar sets and they've subjected you to stuff and weird stuff's happening around you and nobody's affording you a lawyer and people are just progressively like, it's jealousy, it's envy, I don't know what it is, spiteful, it's all these things. Why are you going to spawn? And it mind boggles. But if I had a wifey and could afford the luxurious lifestyle and it was a communicative one and a respectful one, then I'd say, would you like kids? Would you like kids? You want your own kids? You know, you've seen the L word, you know, it's complicated. But anyway, I wrote this. What do you think? Honest opinions. Should you send it? Risk it risk it, or hand deliver it? Now that would be stalky, or would it? Because what somebody says where they work, you know where they work. That's where I sent the letter to, and that's a bit suspect as well because it's industry related. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I can be transparent about it, but I don't want other people knowing my business. I don't want that. And then you're open and risking yourself being like getting a reputation as it. It's like. People say don't get carried away, but sometimes I think you should. Because I checked out the name on YouTube. It was over a year ago now, but I typed in a name on YouTube the other day and then something come up that was like, I wanted to go there when I was in my 20s. Totally got that in common as well. Read, after reading lots of Graham Hancock and Celestine prophecies and stuff, I was like, wow, look at her sitting in this destination. Wow. Cool. How cool is that? Should I send it? It's a birthday the other day. As it's your birthday, I'm writing. It's the dumb thing, right? No second guessing the giving, the lavishing on they whom were birthed today, or roundabout. Just a note to say I think about you every day because some of us need an incentive to aim high. I actually remember literally every single word she said because I knew she was just going to do something weird. And I was like, she said, aim high. She made me cry. She was like, well, it's been nice, look, the tone of voice. What's in tone? What's in words? Nothing's in words, it's in the tone. And yeah, and so it was like that. But, you know, holding your hand, you know, linked into fingers. People do that too. People are very overly bonding and then overly extreme in the other end of the spectrum and ghosting. I don't know what the fucking trend is of that. Everybody's scared of their own shadows, I think. An incentive. I think about you every day because some of us need an incentive to aim high. It's one thing holding on to every word someone said and another thing trying to break through to see if you can make them see like me. Worth mutual, utmost, respectful, loving, loyal, trusting, transparent, shared memories. Not many people in Spiro wanting those qualities in another, but You do. Call it perfect, call it real because it is real, call it married because I am daily, because you give me incentive. Underline the scent. Asked for, delivered. July Pride, on a lime, jump off. Can't even remember how I ended up on the bus. Did they apply scapomane? Was I given scapomane, a zombie drug? She said, how did I end up on the bus with you anyway? I said, I don't know. She goes, strange, isn't it? I said, yeah. But I wasn't complaining. Is investing scary? Yeah, it is, on a stock market too. I hope you understand my need to communicate to you as my master plan, because at the very least, I will always be your potential backup plan. What's love got to do with it? Because I feel like sometimes other people are manipulated as well. I know I've been manipulated, but I feel like maybe she might be manipulated because she was involved in certain industrial scenes. And you go, can other people dictate your social media and just block someone from somebody else's? Is it always that person? She gave me a phone number and it didn't ring when she gave me the number in front of me. I said, that's strange. But then I sent a text, but it was very sort of like basic, and it could have been come from anyone. She could have been like, yo mate, yeah, I've just had contact with this one, and somebody else sending the message, because the phone didn't ring in front of me. So was it ever her number? You know, so sometimes it's that whole, seems like industry has a dark, sordid underbelly as well, and if they can just sexploit or exploit, they will. And that's what I was sensing around that other girl as well. The fact that, you know, some mums are awful. Sometimes women need saving from their mothers. They're a little bit. They need the help. Like, you notice these things as a lesbian. You go, whoa, fuck me. That mother's wrong, and that mother shouldn't encourage prostitution, but that's what I ended up with, somebody that's mother was... So it's like... I think I'm playing the father figure to this one. She was like, you know, when you talk about age gaps and what's a taboo and what's not, right? She was 11 years younger. I, in my first relationship, was with someone that was 11 years older, or 12. And it's like, that woman took the absolute Michael. So there you go, I'm not going to do that to her, but somebody that's 11 years younger. It's like, if anything, you're just like over attentive and just giving them whatever. And you know it's not a safe bet. You know it's not, it's just like, this one ain't going to stick around. And she didn't. And it's like, even though you got friendship 2 years before you get together, and it's like, what was that? Anyway, the point is, what's a taboo and what's not? This person was 14 years younger. Now that's big. And I said, you're too young. She said, it depends what you've been through. I self-sectioned. I was spiked. I'd done a lot of travelling, you know, in different big places before I ever did. So it's like, what's the fucking problem? But people do have problems, and her mum did, and I sensed that. She drew a pair of legs behind prison bars while I was standing there, bringing them shopping and being overly generous as I always am. There, here you go, mother-in-law, there's a bottle of red wine. Here you go, wine. It's like, you know, and you go, people, why have they got to be like that? Spitefulness around that scene, and it's all those, they're looking for angles all the time. So it's like when you hear things like Russell Brand and shit, you go, 15 years ago, well-documented horn dog asked women back to his hotel room. They're complaining. This happened, that happened. Why don't they do it at the time? And why the fuck didn't they involve police then? I have police crawling all over my shit for nothing. I'm a woman. He's a man. They don't call police on him. What the fuck is that? If it happened, you call the police in a real case. If it's a real case. Because why wouldn't you if it's a real case? Because mentalers call police, and because they've got coke demons, and you can smell coke demons around the industry. You know, you read the Sunday papers, like, oh, I was having these illusions, like I thought someone was outside with a baseball bat, I thought someone was always out to get me all the time when I was doing too much coke, right? So it warps your sense of perspective. There's truth in some of it, because, you know, your gut instincts are probably all up in your head and in your veins, and you're thinking, oh, this is not good for me. Probably right. You're 14 years younger. You got opportunities to have kids and blah, 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 and I might have got in the way of that if there was love there, because there was this side. But if somebody is a bit out of the box in their definitions and labels themselves and doesn't have that desire, then you go, the lines are blurring again. Do you want kids? But then I'm a big advocate for the fact that you don't know yourself your whole entire life, and your hormones do play a big choice. But people are going around saying, I am this, I'm genderqueer, or I'm non-binary, and giving themselves a label. And some of those labels are just born out of confidence issues, insecurities, other things, or your mother putting too much pressure on you because she paints vaginas and puts them all over the walls, in her case. And it's like, what is this, a brothel? Are you trying to get your girl into brotheling? Oh, was the hash available to her at a young age? Because that makes for a different headset, because I slept with mans when I was smoking hash, and then it was instant cringe after it wears off, like, oh no, I feel so gay. And then Rastafarian man would call that the herb that is. So, you know, if I was to puff it all the time, then I'd be straight. Huh? You know, but no. So yeah, let's keep it real, right? Let's keep it real when we're defining, because we're living in an age of information sharing and people are more inclined to do this. But what I've sensed is those dark little circles just want to keep it the way they are, because women are highly manipulable. They are. And this one, I hope she's all right. And it's genuine. But love is love, isn't it? What is that? I worry. I want the best for you. I would like to put you in a beautiful OC pad with a pool and have as many kids as you want and do whatever you want and not whatever you want. You know, I'm probably somebody that, you know, does like it one-on-one. And I was like, do I want a partner in crime? Because we had quite an in-depth conversation. It was like, oh yeah, I have a filthy imagination. Same, me too. Do you just want a partner in crime to actually explore that? That which has permeated, it seems, the whole world, from karaoke scenes to high-end industry to drugs are in use, to the point that it's warped your sense of religion, and there's no such thing as a virgin birth because Mary was probably given scrapamine or zombie's breath, devil's trumpet. You know, she's probably given that, she can't remember. Poor cow. Poor cow. Drugged to fuck in a nunnery. So that's where horror films come from. But, you know, it is dark and light, isn't it? It's all like that. Because, at the very least, I will always be your potential backup plan. When a world like that, don't you just want the good life? What's love got to do with it? Netflix, not the best of films, but you inspired that song, Possible, I wrote, which I hope makes you feel safe, nice, though I imagine you have no end of interest. I do, but I am only available for what I want or better is a mantra of mine. And misogyny and this environment, getting arrested when you're sitting across the table and some man that really fancies himself as a DC, really fancied itself, is subjecting you to this shit, unconsenting, non-consenting, non-party bondage. He's traumatising you at an airport with plain clothes, and he's really fancying himself. Like, so why would you write these? Why would you write these letters? Obviously an Eton boy of some kind of fucked up, retarded nature. I don't know, but he was definitely role playing. He wasn't a DC. He didn't have anybody's safety or interests at heart, like myself. His heart wasn't. It was what it was, morbid curiosity. And it's during COVID and it's scary, and you're got a solicitor on a booth, and it sounds like she's playing Super Mario in the background because you can hear bing, 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 you know when he hits the money coins, and you go, well, yeah, maybe this is the money getting in touch with me to say that I deserve money because I've exhibited some kind of talent in a certain arenas and gotten on plenty of stages and been at festivals and sang and stuff. But I've just endangered and jeopardised my whole wants in a career by just taking a French woman home. Woman, I don't like calling women in their 20s women, girl home. So yeah, that was that. And she said, I'm not interested in anything heavy and serious. And then she proceeded to kiss me once more on a thing where I took her out. And then it was all over the man behind, bought him a beer, and then started snogging his face off. And it was like, you know, when someone makes you feel physically sick in such a short space of time. It's physically sick. So much torture in just such a short space of time. So it was like, oh, thanks for that, because if I do get somewhere, I can cry on cue, just thinking of you. Yeah, that was that one. And anyway, so this is why this letter hasn't been sent, because I don't know. I do, but I am only available for what I want or better is a mantra of mine, which is her basically, or, you know, Hollywood. No jokes. I'm twee, simple, and run with basics, like how totally taken I am was by my Just Jack intact in you. I trust you will be praying for my elevation to VIP status to get my available for better if I can't have you. Let's face it, holla, only if you believe in fairy tales and you write the rest, princess. Until the end of time, I'll be loving you always. Trust. No, you cast a spell on me, and I'm very grateful that you did. Happy birthday, beep, A. A little A and a tick there. I'm pretty sure you're all I could ask for and want for mine birthday. I wrote this on the 23rd. It's the 28th now. I might send it at some point. I might not. It comes down to what's being forgot, and doing right by me is not to not. Come tie it with me. Can't be dealing with the vacuousness that can wait for when unimaginable times come. Not in living life, where there is breath and room for memories with someone you respect enough to try once more for. Just send it, do you not? Do you risk a sell again by malicious, skanky homophobes around circles and rackets? Do you risk it? Because it's not real policing. It's not Met Police policing this. It's bullshit of the next level. So just welcome to my world. That's what it turns into. Even to the point where there's adverts asking for a crossword. Oh, enter free. And then you call from the homeland, and then they've ascertained where you're calling from and who you are. And then it's like, okay, now you're sending me a letter saying congratulations. See this one. Anybody else got any of those in the post? And then you try to enter, but you can't find 2 words. You need to report the 1 word you can't find. I can't find relax, and I can't find garden. Strange, isn't it? I'm in the garden. Am I in the garden? Have I been locked out of heaven? Is that a message? Is it? This is like the mafia sending a black horse's head through the post to somebody like me. And then it's like, what's the missing word? Snakes. They're the snakes. They're the snakes. I am not a snake. I am a spiritual, healed, enlightened individual that does hypnosis, self-improvement, self-mastery, as well as drink too much. But the drinking too much, working on that, keeping it sensible. Always, it's quite handy living under somebody else's roof because you're on somebody else's rules. So you have to go home, and you have to be like that homing pigeon and keep going home, stuff like that. Even then, trusting yourself empathically, basically. I'm all down with me. I'm great, but I'm just aware that I've got so many haters, and it's a shame. Because people don't know what's freaking good for them, and they don't realise just how. That's what people don't realise. They're in a prison within a prison. Some demographics, the marginalised, let's make COVID storylines. People jet setting the globe, snorting their coke, living it up during that time. Venice was quite full with a certain kind of a demographic, I suppose, of professionals. And as someone called the place, I've never been before, they called it Disneyland, because most of it isn't actually Italian anymore. Like, you got the workers and things, but a lot of it is just owned by Americans and bought out by certain industrial scenes. Anyone say Spider-Man? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, it's good though, so long as they lighten up on you and they don't actually act like what they are and what you sense. Elitist faggot arseholes, So that's me, and thank you for welcoming me with open arms. Thank you for welcoming the talent, but the women really need to stick together. Come on, Oprah, come on. I've been watching you since I was good. These people, they feel more like your peers than ever. If you're a dreamer, it's like, there's my friends. And people sense that I'm not available, that I'm a little bit out of reach, because up here I always have been. Since going home and watching the Goonies on repeat. There's my peers. It just is, isn't it, sometimes? Because I only had one friend at primary school, and then they split me up with him because I was a bad influence. Siamese twins, they called us. And his granddad's Dick King Smith, the guy that wrote Babe, Pig in the City, a series of books. He had some obsession with pigs. I have probably but the pink kind, right? The one, the animals with the little round tummy. Yeah, he had an obsession with them. I'd rather the actual pig was obsessed with them. Anyway, yeah, so he's worth loads. But we got him, well, he was the best thing since sliced bread, you know, that kid. He's just totally instantly drawn to him because he liked skateboarding and he had American ways, used to rap. So I was introduced to rap and influences on you. He played a bit of guitar and, you know, so people influence you. He could moonwalk and he was like that. He was like, yeah, you're a bad influence on him and talk too much. And so they put me in a different class and traumatised me at 10, just in time for secondary school. Yeah, so then I was the introverted person, so I have a unique perspective on life. Thank you all so much for the hard knocks, starting really young. But I don't want any more. I want my house in a, you know, I want my house. I want to buy this house. I just want to put a little drive in the front and just have my home hub. Because I deserve it. And I also deserve a lot more. And I also would love to get the girl. And I can't imagine feeling any more overwhelmed in a loving sense for an individual instantaneously, and also just looking at her picture like what. But then most women haven't got the, you know, even if it makes you want to do a Bruno Mars, you know, when it comes to, hey, let's do something stupid, got something dumb to do, you just go get married in Vegas or get married somewhere on the West Coast on a boat. Because I've been trying to visualise a future where my parents are well and good health and just lived in a vow. You look like a vision in that wedding dress. That's my future that's happening now. These are the things that are happening now for me to make me feel so good right now. And it's all because of her. Let's be honest. Her. Some of us need an incentive to aim higher. And it's a momentum thing. And it was really beautiful to see her in Peru and be like, wow. Did they know me? No, I don't think that esoteric society would go to such great lengths to just like make the ideal woman. Would they? And then me be lucky enough to have her. Wow. 11-year age gap, I think. She said it depends where you're at in life. I'm sorry for crying on you on the first date. Yeah. I'm here. And I'm very responsible in all things emotional, including boundaries as well, you know. I didn't turn up at your door with flowers, but then probably women want that. You can't risk getting arrested, can you? What a world.